Ms. Barrett, you are suing the defendant for $5,000 in damages for emotional distress.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim that the man standing across from you helped destroy your childhood.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Though the defendant may be your biological father, you say he has never been there for you.
That's correct, Your Honor.
In fact, you claim he wouldn't even show up for your mother's funeral when you were just 16 years old.
That's correct.
Mr. Jones, you deny Ms. Barrett is owed financial damages due to emotional distress.
Yes.
You argue you were there for her during her childhood, even though her mother admitted to you she slept with another man when Ms. Barrett was conceived.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are seeking the results of a paternity test as well as an award of $500 for money you say the plaintiff stole from you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Barrett, first, tell me about your lawsuit.
I'm here today because I can't stand this man. He hasn't been there for me at all in my life. He was never there, never wanted to go to any of my birthdays. He claims he did, but he didn't show up to any of my birthdays. He claims he did so much for me when I was a kid. He wasn't there at all for me when I was a kid. My mom died when I was 16 years old, and I called him looking for comfort because he's supposed to be my dad. And all I got from him was that he couldn't go and to give my mom a kiss from him because he still loves my mom.
No. Your Honor, that's not true. That is not true, Your Honor. I felt that it was not right for me to be there. I was no longer with her mother. That's my past. This is my future here. And it would be disrespect to my new fiance of going to her mother's funeral, which she didn't even show up for her own grandparents' funeral. My parents that passed away before her mother did.
So you're saying she didn't show up for your parents' funeral, and then you're saying he didn't show up for your mother's funeral?
They passed away after my mom had passed away, so no, I wasn't going to go to his parents' funeral after he didn't go to my mom's. When you say you were experiencing severe emotional distress, Ms. Barrett described to the court, how were you feeling? I didn't have a mom or a dad. I had my grandma. My grandma raised me, not him, not anybody else. It was my grandma and her husband that raised me and took care of me. My mom wasn't even there.
And so all your life you believe Mr. Jones to be your biological father?
That's what I was told.
Is he on your birth certificate?
No, but I wrote his name on my birth certificate when I was like 7 because I was told he was my dad.
Why are you not on the birth certificate, Mr. Jones? Did you have doubts?
Yeah, I did, because when she come into my life, when her mom brought her into my life.
So take me back. Were you there when Ms. Barrett was born?
No, I wasn't, Your Honor. I was with somebody else. She was not brought into my life.
Did you know her mother was pregnant?
No, I didn't until I was in front of a party store hanging out with my friends. Her mother pulled in and told me that she had to talk to me, which my daughter was in the back seat as a child. And
she was already born?
Yeah, she was, Your Honor.
How old was she?
She was like a year at that time.
So you saw Ms. Barrett for the first time, you didn't even know she existed?
I didn't even know I had a child. They told me that her mother was pregnant by some other guy down south. So you knew she was pregnant, but they told you it was by somebody else down south, yeah. So I left well enough to be, and I went my way, her mother went her way, and then 2 years later, her mother brought her back into my life, saying, this is your child.
And what happened when you saw her, this child?
It shocked me, Your Honor. I mean, I was
glad what did her mother
that
say?
I was hoping that she's mine, of course.
You were?
Yes, of course, Your Honor.
Did Ms. Barrett's mother say she was your child, or did she say she may be your child?
She said she was my child, Your Honor.
Okay.
And then I took care of her from that day all the way up, Your Honor.
And Ms. Barrett, have you always been told that he was definitively your biological father, or were you told he was and then also told he wasn't?
As a young girl, by my grandma, I was told that he was my father, for sure, no doubts. As I got older and I could understand stuff more, I was given more options and told that my mom was a wild teenager.
So as you got older, people began to tell you your mom may have slept with more than one person during that time.
Yeah, I was told it was actually close family members of him, a couple close family members of his. When I was 6 months old, him and my mom sold me to my grandmother for $100. So him saying that he didn't know about me or anything like that.
I'm sorry.
They needed rent money.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? You said when you were
6 months old. I was 6 months old, and they ran into my grandmother and told her that they needed rent money. They were $100 short. My grandma said, the only way I'm giving you $100 is if you give me that baby, because I was in rags and not being taken care of.
Your Honor.
And they gave me to my grandmother and took the $100 and went home to their happy little house.
No, Your Honor, I'll tell you the truth, Your Honor. I'm from a well-do family. I don't need no money. You know what I mean, Your Honor? I'm well-to-do. And her mother might have tried to sell her to her grandmother because her mother was nothing but a crackhead. You know?
Hold on.
You know?
Let's be respectful.
And that's why I left her mother.
Let's be respectful.
Okay, I'm sorry, Your Honor, for disrespecting.
He's trying to make it seem like he was perfect.
Your grandmother just thought
he's the one. He told me when I was younger too that he wasn't my father.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. There are obviously doubts going through your mind. I mean, when
of course.
Someone tells you your ex is pregnant, but she's pregnant by another man, you don't hear anything from her until child is, what, a year old?
Yes, Your Honor.
And she pulls up and says, this is your child.
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you think her motivation was? Did you really think this is my child?
More money. That's all she wanted. Her mother was a gold digger, man. That's all she did was sit home, spend the money while I made it. That's all.
And so that knowledge fueled your doubts.
Yeah, it did. And I wasn't home as much as I should have been, Your Honor. You know, I was doing my thing, but I always made sure that she had a roof. She had everything that she ever wanted. And she can't call me a liar about it. She's had more than what half of these kids in this world.
But not from him. Not from him. From my grandmother.
Ask her about the motorcycles that I bought her for $4,000 when she was just little that I ordered from California. Ask her about the waterbed, the computer. What about me sending her to Arizona and bringing her back? And
so, Ms. Barrett,
the bikes, the clothing.
Did he ever say to you, I mean, to your face,
$300 purses?
He doubted whether or not you were his daughter?
Yes, he did.
He did?
He did say that he didn't think that I was his daughter. He also told my mom that. And he told my mom that he did not believe that I was his daughter, and then turned around the next day and said that he did and he trusted her and loved her. He can say what he wants in front of his girlfriend, but he's told my mom since day one that he loves her.
I ain't never stated that. If I loved her mom, I could have stayed with her, man. I left her behind and moved on with my life, Your Honor. You know what I mean? You know, but I always made sure I was in the picture for my child.
But
always.
Did you say that to her? I mean, listen.
No, I've never.
Okay, so you're standing in court today saying you've always had doubts as to whether or not she was truly your biological child.
Well,
and yet, when I asked Ms. Barrett, did you ever express that doubt to her directly? Right. She says, yes, you did. But you say, no, you didn't.
No, I have not.
So what, you held it in?
Yeah, I mean, Your Honor, I wasn't there. Her mother showed no signs of her being pregnant when I was with her.
So my point is, did you or did you not look at Ms. Barrett and say, hey, I'm not really sure if you're my child?
Honor, I've never stated to this child here that I've ever doubted her being mine. You know, out of my mouth. And what I had inside of me is what I kept inside of me. You know, I didn't always.
You felt like that was not information that a young girl
should know at that age.
And to discuss with her.
Right, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Ms. Barrett, you say you live with Mr. Jones.
Yes, I did.
What was that like?
It was horrible. I lived with him for about a month. He was completely controlling. Completely. He treated me like his girlfriend, not his daughter. I was wearing a pair of Bermuda shorts.
What?
The Bermuda shorts, the long shorts, I was wearing those, and he'd claimed that I was looking like a whore,
Your Honor.
he wouldn't even let me wear them.
Your Honor.
And then he took me to the races with him and his friend, and supposedly I was shaking my tail feather in front of his friend.
That's all her and her friend did.
I was a 12-year-old little girl.
Your Honor.
Wait a minute. So wait, was he being an overprotective father? Where he
no, he wouldn't even let me call my mom on Mother's Day.
It was.
He wouldn't even let me call my mom on Mother's Day.
Your Honor, there were 14, 15-year-old girls walking around my house all skimping at you. Ain't doing that in my home.
You didn't mind when you were hitting on her.
You know what I mean? All she did is she's a liar. She knows she's a liar. I mean, Your Honor, I told her that her friend had to leave my home because her friend was walking around with all these shorty shorts, and I told my daughter that her friend was not going to be in my home dressing like that. So I put her friend out. It made her mad, and then she wanted to move because her friend couldn't stay there. And I said, I don't want your friend.
And then you say you called the police on...
And I called the police and had her escorted out of because she ripped me off $500. Her and her friend went out and bought new shoes, new clothing.
I left your house with my Uncle Stevie.
Tell me what happened, Mr. Jones.
Your Honor, I left. I had to go do a couple of errands. So I left them money to get them something to eat. So I was gone longer than what I figured I was going to be gone. Well, I came back home. I unlocked the door, come inside. Well, her and her friend sitting in the living room, Your Honor, and they got all these bags laying around. So I said, Steph, where'd you get this? All she could do is sit on the couch and smirk at me while her friend smirked. So something just told me, go in my room and check. So I went in my room, I checked my thing. I was missing $500. I come back out and I asked her, I said, Stephanie, where's my money? What money, Dad? Trying to play me stupid, Your Honor. And I told her, I know I had $2 grand. I'm not dummy. $1,800. You took $500. When you come here, you both were broke. I said, where'd you get all these new clothes and everything?
So you come home and they're sitting around with
all new wardrobe, Your Honor.
New clothes.
New clothes, pizza boxes. They were having a good old party at my house, Your Honor.
Ms. Barrett, did you have all the clothes and the pizza and everything?
No, that's hilarious. Really, it is.
So you didn't...
So ask her, why'd I call the cops? Why'd the cops come and get her and take her?
And I didn't get taken by the cops.
You can contact Clinton County in Michigan, and they got a police report where I had her removed from my home, and it's on file that she ripped me off $500. They were going to take her to the juvenile home, and the only thing that saved her was I told the cop, just put her in the back seat of the car, Your Honor, and show her how this is what happens when you're a thief.
Yeah, that's what a real dad would do.
Mr. Jones,
that's what a real dad would do.
So I wanted to show her what
that's what real dads do when their kids mess up. But I didn't mess up and he didn't do that.
Did you bring any evidence of this arrest? This police report?
No, I didn't. I was...
No evidence as to this incident?
No, but I got pictures here showing...
As it relates to your countersuit, I have to say, I mean...
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, although your testimony rings credible, the problem is you have no proof. You know, when you bring a cause of action, a countersuit, you need to have some type of proof. The burden of proof is on you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I have nothing. And for that reason, I have to dismiss your case.
Okay, I apologize, Your Honor.
Moving on. Miss Barrett, what are your hopes today? It seems like you've been through so much.
I hope he's not my dad.
And why?
He's not there for me.
Because I gave her too good of a life and she's selfish. Straight out.
He hasn't been there. He hasn't gave me... He should have been there to walk me down the aisle. I got married. Where were you when I had my 3 kids? He should have been in that room.
She didn't even call. She knows she didn't.
Did you call him, Ms. Barrett?
No, I didn't, because
didn't.
the thing that he told me is
lie.
If he was going to be there, she was going to be there.
How can I be there? How am I supposed to know? She's supposed to have it at 2 in the morning. But I am not picking my girlfriend over my daughter or my daughter over my girlfriend.
What is the issue you have with Ms. Huff?
She's been unstable. She came to my house, mine and my husband's first date. She came to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning on drugs with 3 random guys.
Your Honor,
Ms. Huff, please stand up at the podium.
Tell the truth.
I went to her house with my 2 cousins, not 3 random guys.
And she was looking for me, Your Honor. That's when she thought I was at my daughter's, but I wasn't.
All this money he has, she was coming to my house to borrow money for a taxi.
She's lying, Your Honor. I don't know where she gets these stories from, so...
She's like her mom.
Ms. Huff, do you or do you not believe Ms. Barrett is Mr. Jones' biological daughter?
He's never said to me that he didn't think that Stephanie was not his.
And if I find out she's not mine, I still love her, man. I raised her ever since she was little.
Thank you, ma'am, for your testimony. You may be seated. All right. We have heard a lot today. And from what I hear from your testimony, you held those doubts inside.
For a long time.
You didn't tell anybody, not even your girlfriend, fiance, or her.
Nobody, Your Honor. I just took care of her all of her life.
And so this has been hurting you?
Of course, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, because I don't know if she is mine or not. But I was still there for her.
I think it's time for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Barrett v. Jones, as it pertains to whether Mr. Jones is the biological father of Miss Barrett, it has been determined by this court that Mr. Jones, you are her father. You were suing for damages of $5,000 for it was negligent infliction of emotional distress. I have to rule based upon the legal evidence presented, okay? And negligent infliction of emotional distress also requires a legal cause of action, something for it to be attached or based upon. And that hasn't been presented as well, okay?
Okay.
And for that reason, I have to dismiss your claim as well.
Okay, Your Honor.
Judgment for the defendant. So, family, here we are. Life's about choices. You may not be able to take away the hurt and pain between the two of you, but focus on the children. Open your heart and see if you can maybe find a way to let him in a little so your children can have the benefit of knowing their grandfather, because he wants to know them.
Yes,
and
I love
grandparent
that,
love is a special kind of love, and every child deserves it, okay? I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Court is adjourned. Ms. Pringle, you opened this case against Mr. Brown because you say he denies fathering your 18-month-old daughter, Tatiana. You state he has acted like she doesn't exist since the day she was born. You want Mr. Brown to step up after today's results? Prove he is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, you claim Miss Pringle is a known cheater who fathered the child in question with another man. You insist there is no way you are her daughter's father and have medical evidence to prove your case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Pringle, you say Mr. Brown is denying your baby?
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
He says that she's not his because I have cheated before and it was just an accident. But I have sat down and I told him that the mistake was a mistake and I haven't done it since then. And I don't think he should put that against her.
And so I can see in your eyes that you feel really badly.
Yes.
That this mistake is basically costing your daughter the opportunity to have a father in her life.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell the court what that feels like? I see the tears in your eyes.
It hurts really bad because I have to raise her on my own. And no child should go through that.
Can you look at Mr. Brown and tell him how much this hurts?
It hurts really bad that you're denying my daughter. She looks for you every day, and she says daddy every day, but you're nowhere around to help me raise her. She's probably like, where's my daddy? Nobody cares about me but my mother.
The reason why I feel like that, because the time she was saying, like the situation she cheated on me, always a cheater will be a cheater. So
you feel traumatized?
Yes.
By catching her?
Yes.
How did you find out she was cheating?
She always get anonymous phone calls leaving out the room, instead of sitting there talking to me like if she was talking to a family member.
Okay, so take me back to how you cheated.
I met someone on a dating site. Mm-hmm. We made out, and that's what happened.
So it was just something casual?
Yes.
All right. So take me to the moment you found out you were pregnant or realized you were pregnant.
I went to a free clinic and I took the test and they said that it was 4 weeks and 3 days.
Pregnant?
Yes.
And then you called Mr. Brown?
Yes, and I told him I was pregnant. He was happy, and we were together for like 2 months and we broke up.
And so he was happy, but for 2 months?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown, you were only happy for 2 months?
we didn't have sex at the time, like the conceiving time that she got pregnant. But we was broken up.
At the conception time, you didn't have sex then?
No.
Okay.
I don't know where he got his information from, but there's nobody but him.
But after he confirmed you were cheating and you admitted to it, then you start getting phone calls where you got to leave the room. That doesn't feel too good. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't, look, okay, let me break this down. After you've been cheated on, all your red flags, all your senses are up. Spidey sense is on overdrive. So every time you got a call and then you had to leave the room to talk, look, truth be told, even if it was a family member and you had to leave the room and talk, I'd have been like, oh, you can't talk to your family member in front of me? You hear that, Jerome?
You can't unring
That's what
that
I would have
bell,
said
right?
to you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That is, something isn't computing, especially after infidelity in a relationship.
Yes.
Let's talk about the type of relationship Mr. Brown has with Tatiana. Were you there when Tatiana was born, Mr. Brown?
No.
Did you participate at all in any of the doctor's appointments and go?
Just one.
Just one?
Yes.
You didn't come to the birth?
No.
So I guess you didn't sign the birth certificate either.
I signed it because I felt like she needed a father, because I didn't have a father figure at the time either in my life, so I wanted to give her a feeling like she has a dad to depend on.
Did you have doubts when you did that?
Yes, but I felt kind of bad because I don't want a child to go through the same thing I went through.
All right. There's a lot going on here. Well, this is a first in this courtroom. You say you both have medical evidence that proves your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Pringle, you say you have medical evidence that proves Mr. Brown is Tatiana's biological father. And Mr. Brown, you say you have medical evidence that proves there is no way you can be Tatiana's biological father. I want to start with Ms. Pringle. Okay. Can you tell me about your medical evidence that says that Mr. Brown is, in fact, her biological father?
Yes, Your Honor. She's lactose intolerant, so is he, and other family members in his family is lactose intolerant. I'm not. And because she has the same hairline as him, and she also does this squat that he does.
A squat?
Yeah, she does it all the time.
What is the squat?
Like when I'm fixing on something.
Let me see.
I can do that.
Jerome, now, if you can do that squat.
Which one?
Let's do, we don't.
Can we do it out here?
Let me prove this case here.
Oh.
Now, Jerome, if you can do this squat,
okay,
that would then help Mr. Brown's case that it may not be hereditary. Can you squat? Can you do it? Go back there, right? Oh. Go right there. Jerome, now can you squat down there like that?
Exactly how.
Oh, shoot. And then. I gotta laugh to keep from crying. It's not the same though. It's not the same squat. You gotta be even on both legs. Uh-oh, Jerome,
You got a heavy gun belt on.
Oh, okay, your gun belt is holding you back. Okay. So, thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
For your demonstration. Jerome, I don't even know why we gave the DNA test. We got all the answers.
There it is.
The baby
there
squats.
Yeah.
He squats.
Case closed.
Case closed. Sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying, y'all. Okay. So, Mr. Brown, I want to hear about your medical evidence. And I want it to be a little bit better than Ms. Pringle's.
Okay, my medical evidence, I have asthma, and it runs down in the family. My other significant kid has asthma.
Your other kid has asthma?
Yes.
How many other children you have?
I have several.
How many?
I would have had 8.
Wait a minute. What? What do you mean you would have had 8? So Tatiana would be your 8th kid?
Yes.
And all your kids have asthma, but Tatiana doesn't?
Yes.
That's a lie. The other 2 kids don't look nothing like him. He only denies mine.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on, why are you running around here making all these children?
No reason.
That's what that is. That's a significant amount of kids. What is going on? You have a job?
Yes.
Can you take care of all these kids?
Not really, Your Honor.
I know you can't. 27 years old with almost 7, maybe 8 kids. That's not good. It's not good for the kids at all. It's not good for them mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. It's just not, it's not smart. I try to tell you men out here, I'm telling you, and the mothers too. You think these kids don't grow up? When they get about 7, 8, 9, 10, you think they don't know their daddy's raggedy? Or their mother? Well, I mean, you don't think they know that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I've said my piece. I know one thing, people always come in here with medical evidence, and I have to check it with the expert. So I want to hear more about medical evidence relating to asthma and kids being lactose intolerant. Jerome, will you please escort Dr. Jamila Gator into the courtroom? I've got some questions for her. Hello, Dr. Gator.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here with us. So, Ms. Pringle has presented in her case that she believes that Mr. Brown is her daughter's biological father because Mr. Brown is lactose intolerant and her daughter is lactose intolerant, and there are people in his family who are also lactose intolerant.
Okay.
Can you explain to the court whether this is something that is passed down? Is it hereditary? How do you become lactose intolerant?
Okay, that's a great question, actually. So when you're lactose intolerant, your body doesn't produce an enzyme called lactase, and lactase is what breaks down the milk. So actually, lactose intolerance in some ethnicities is very common, but it typically develops starting at age 5 through adulthood. Your body stops making the enzyme, you can't digest milk anymore. And in the case where it develops where a child is born lactose intolerant, so from the time they're a baby, they can't digest the formula, they can't digest the milk, that is genetically inherited and requires one gene from each parent for that child to be born lactose intolerant.
That is really fascinating, because you hear a lot of people talk about that and you don't really know, okay, well, where does this come from? Mm-hmm. Okay, understood. Now, I want to go to Mr. Brown's evidence. Mr. Brown says he believes he cannot be Miss Pringle's daughter's biological father because he has 7 other children and they all have asthma, and he has asthma, but Tatiana does not have asthma. Is asthma something that you pass down in that way? So that if a child doesn't have it, that's an indicator that the man is not the biological father?
So asthma is a bit more tricky. Asthma is involved with both genes passed down and the environment. Environmental triggers like pollution and things like that. So if a parent has asthma, the child is 2 to 3 more times likely to develop the asthma, but it's not guaranteed because there's so many other factors that go into developing asthma.
Very informative, Dr. Gator. I really appreciate that. I will let you get back to your work. I know you are very busy taking care of patients. Thank you so much. You may be excused. Jerome, will you please escort Dr. Gator?
Okay.
Good to go out this side. Okay. Go out this way. Watch your step.
What we've determined from the doctor's testimony is none of this is conclusive. So we are basically right back where we started from, the beginning of this case, where you believe Mr. Brown is the biological father of Tatiana, and Mr. Brown, you believe you are not. Ms. Pringle, I want you to take a moment and look at Mr. Brown. And if in fact he is Tatiana's biological father, I want you to take a moment and tell him what you want and what you need from him, because you've been with Tatiana by yourself for 18 months.
I want you to help me financially, emotionally, and physically to be there for her and show her what a guy shouldn't do to her when she grows up. You have to be there and teach her all these things.
All right, I think the only thing left to do is get the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Pringle versus Brown, when it comes to 18-month-old Tatiana Pringle, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are the father.
Sorry for not being there for my child. I will help you financially, so you don't have to worry anymore. I'll be in my daughter's life.
That's your beautiful little girl, Mr. Brown. When you look at her and see how beautiful and special and innocent she is, can you imagine a man promising to be there for her and then just leaving her out in the cold? Can you imagine that?
No.
That's who you've been. That's the thing you can't imagine another man doing to her, you've done. And you got to start making up for that right now. It's important.